laying a wreath not for the lost ANZAC soldiers, but the women who cared for them.
They had an enormously important role which was totally neglected. There wouldn't have been an RSL. Most of the men wouldn't have come home had it not been for army nurses. Their role was enormous.
Clementina Hay-Marshall was one of 7 nurses serving on the hospital ship HMAS GASCON.
7 nurses for 500 very badly injured men is a nightmare, really, and that's why they work round the clock.
The hospital ship Gascon and the hospital ship Cecilia saved tens of thousands of ANZAC soldiers' lives.
The diary of Clementina Marshall reveals the terrible conditions endured by the nurses and the important work they did.
People don't realise what nursing was like in those days. There were no antibiotics. All they had was morphine, and often the War Office didn't send enough morphine.
Nurse Marshall's great-nephew recently received her diary and decided her story needed to be shared.
I held it in my hands and couldn't believe that this was 101 years old. It was extremely emotional and very fascinating.
Clementina Hay-Marshall was one of about 2,000 Australian nurses who served overseas during World War I. But her personal history gives us an insight into stories which may have otherwise been lost. Preserved on the page so they too won't be forgotten. Stephanie Anderson, ABC News, Melbourne.